What a year, huh? Who deserves a pandemic? At best, life as we knew it and treasured it was suspended. Some even believe it has changed forever. In either case, there has been and will continue to be plenty of speculation about the look of the post-pandemic future, your future. As it happens, my job at JMU affords some perspective on that, and right about now, I find it pretty helpful. The work gives me a direct line to what we'll call the wisdom of the ages. That job, well, I'm an archaeologist, and pandemic or not, people in my business are always pressing for answers to big questions like this one. What accounts for the enduring persistence of humankind and its resilience in the face of tens of thousands of years of challenges, including numerous catastrophic epidemics, cycles of climate change, and intractable inequality? Yes, those familiar problems are not new ones at all, and yet we as a species are more than just hanging on. 40 years of pondering those things leads me to view the details of the human story as something akin to our cultural DNA. For the next few minutes, I will share ways I believe that it puts what we have experienced recently and what we are likely to experience ahead in some context. No doubt there are competing views on the relevance of history, but the philosophy I encourage is one expressed by Soren Kierkegaard. Life can only be understood backwards, but it must be lived forwards. Let me now challenge you to consider the meaning of another quotation. Paraphrasing the philosopher and novelist Albert Camus, I will declare to you that this pandemic is life. Say what, you ask? Yes, in my view, there may be no metaphor more apt for our time and our time ahead. But what really is Camus' meaning? He is first claiming, I will contend, that the collective path of humanity is full of some very hard truths that perennially plague us. It is undeniable that unflattering tendencies constitute one dimension of our species and its story. You need to acknowledge them. Looking away just might prove dangerous. Fully unvarnished, here are some of those harder, persistent realities as archaeologists like me can discern them. Nothing is forever. If there is a constant in human history, it is change. No cultural pattern will last indefinitely. Moreover, there is ample evidence the rate of cultural change has been accelerating in recent time, quite profoundly. Even you must be witnessing that. Under conditions of significant change, there are always winners and losers. Just as change is inevitable, so is the fact that the fallout of it is uneven. In times of significant flux, opportunities for some are lost, and for others they are created. Selfish actors have always been among us. Self-interest is a baked-in human quality. Worse still, power is as intoxicating as we've been led to believe it is, and the tendency to compete for the goal of domination on multiple scales is not declining. The fact of inequality is woven into our historical fabric. For any number of reasons, like it or not, we are simply not the same, individual to individual, community to community, and society to society. And the mere fact of difference introduces disparities. Disparity in turn leads to grievance. Random events can have outsized effects. Many of the most calamitous moments in human history are the least anticipated moments. Any of these kinds of happenings pulls away the cultural curtain and in a heartbeat exposes our vulnerabilities. And finally, the physical world we inhabit does have a limited carrying capacity. Trouble has always ensued when we have collided with the finite limits of the planet's resources. So what is it I am asking you to take from this set of difficult facts? It is, again, to acknowledge them, but more importantly, it is also to address them. That they will continue to define the human world to a degree is a certainty, but they do not have to define it completely if you make up your mind to intervene. Be vigilant, be pragmatic, be resolute. Let me now hasten to emphasize that thinkers like Camus have not failed to recognize other truths, ones that can balance and have balanced those troublesome realities. It is especially in these other verities that we discover how life is full of possibility and goodness. In effect, it is also dangerous to look away from these additional tendencies. As confusing as it may sound, they are equally definitive of our kind, and they run something like this. We as a species have an astonishingly strong record of problem solving. That gray mass between our ears, coupled with what we anthropologists call culture, endows us with an unparalleled capacity to extricate ourselves from all manner of rough patches. At the heart of this ability is our evolved proclivity for learning from and then sharing accumulated knowledge. A corollary of that remarkable problem-solving record is this: much about the world today is better than it ever has been. Globally, average life expectancy has never been longer, literacy rates are at an all-time high, food security and nutrition have improved, and open challenges to human rights violations are at an unprecedented level. Moreover, by virtue of good science and enhanced capacity for communication, we can see problems and recognize solutions and transmit the remedies as never before. And most importantly, the wonder of evolution has also instilled in us remarkable capacities for cooperation, creativity, expression, and affectionate attachment. Indeed, these qualities, some of an emotional nature, are the ones most of us would first list as the defining human traits. They are not periodic or randomized occurrences. They always have and always will sustain us. And I dare say they're the ones we're even inclined to fight for. They account for why we do and should insist on the right to life, liberty, and happiness. Speaking for myself, the realization that I am endowed with a capacity to contemplate the past, the present, and the future all at once, and then work closely and happily with people around me to resolve challenges, to make the world a better place with intentionality, is something to be celebrated. Moreover, the simple knowledge that I am loved and can love in return, that I can recognize beauty and relish it in the company of others, is everything. Do not forget that. In the final analysis, then, you will disregard, at your peril, these worse and better facts of our biological and cultural inheritances. They capture what it means to be human. Each of us, as individuals, and each of the communities we choose to belong to, are products of a deep history. Knowing this carries a burden of responsibility, specifically to embrace the fact that we, people, are highly evolved bundles of contradictions. Our better and our worse angels are forever competing, and we must constantly endeavor to reconcile them, as we mostly always have. To do this is the ultimate life skill. Give yourselves the advantage of anticipation rather than reaction. In short, history tells us that there are sweet spots of collective human existence, somewhere short of utopia, but a long way from dystopia. More than once over the millennia, we have known them, and there is no reason to believe we cannot know them again. So much of the time, the good stuff is the hard stuff. Congratulations to you and to your families. I am pulling for you.